Going over to the political part podcast, you have the Dearborn, Michigan City refusing to actually enforce a noise ordinance against the mosque. This is brought to us thanks to End Wokeness and perhaps the most viral city in the United States lately, Dearborn, Michigan, which has had a huge demographic, religious change past couple of years. So much so that is the first police station in the United States where the police badge is in 2 languages. It is the first state or area in which the badge has Arabic language written on it as well as English. Because again, and they also increased the police department being 5% to 48% in terms of who makes the police department being Islamic. Now, and Wokeness says, quote, breaking. Dearborn City Council is again stalling action on mosques violating city ordinances. 2 years of we'll take a look. Well, of course.
We have to go by first. The police is checking the decibel level. But I know what you're saying. Regardless of the decibel level, there's not supposed to be exterior speakers. Right. And that's what we have to look into.
So you can just look at the building and see them.
I know. You asked us last time and we requested that because we asked if there was any permits and there was no permits of record for those installations. So we have to find out. People sometimes take into their own hand of doing something. And we have to then, react to it. So that's what you're bringing forward to us, and we will definitely look into it.
So when I come in 2 weeks, you'll tell me the same thing.
Yep.
Ms. Unger, I think that's extremely unfair.
This has been 2 years.
Ms. Unger, I know, but we have to.
I know. So 2 years they've had that screeching or a lot of the loudspeakers of the Muslim call to prayer, which again is different than church bells. And it also was it 5:30 in the morning, which again, I'm weird. I'm up by 4:30 in the morning every day usually. I like to read, exercise, whatever, but the average person's not up at 5:30 a.m. And even though I'm up, that'd be kind of annoying to hear prayer on the loudspeakers. Bells, music, beautiful. Usually just a quick, couple chimes letting you know mass is starting. Also, not 5:30 in the damn morning. I think the earliest church, well, at least anecdotally, you have mass, again, Sundays, usually, 7 a.m. is a common time, 8 a.m. is common, then very common you have 11 a.m. mass, then either a 12 or 1 p.m. mass. And again, they play bells, beautiful music, beautiful bells. Or as Trump would say, American churches have the best bells, the brass is gorgeous, huge, large, impressive, gorgeous, magnanimous. They sound gorgeous, the bells, but not the screeching. It hurts my earballs. The screeching, the Muslim call to prayer, sounds a little weird, makes it a little uneasy. My earballs hurt from it, but not those nice, glorious church bells. I mean, I don't think Trump says those words precisely, but perhaps something to that effect. And yeah, 2 years of nothing because, again, also, the demographics of the city has changed so much. These guys want to get reelected. There's a lot of people who in the city want that. Which again, boggles my mind. 5:30 a.m. Really? That was it. Also 5 times a day. And yeah, of course, the government's doing nothing. It's one of those things where we've seen it time and time again. The government only enforces the law at certain times. And especially when it comes to religious tolerance. If you're a Catholic Christian, they don't tell. I mean, government will go after you. Famously, Barack Obama went after nonprofits when he was in office, or they used the IRS to go after nonprofits that are religious affiliated, also Tea Party affiliated, Libertarian affiliated. Interestingly enough, the government only applies pressure seemingly to one side of the political aisle. And maybe that's why not too many people are surprised by this. This got about 91,000 views on X, as well as 3.2 thousand likes. Now, and Wokeness also says, quote, there are literally physical speakers on the exterior of mosque violation, yet Dearborn City Council stalls outrageous, getting 2.7 thousand likes, which, yeah, I'm not surprised, of course. He got 76 responses to that additional comment. Was he ratioed? Haitius Conacious says, quote, step 1, put speakers on the outside of a church. Step 2, blast hymns at the same time. When the city inevitably charges a church, sue for obvious discrimination. Getting 16 likes, which, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Use the courts. 17 likes now. You also have Being Black as a Vibe says, do you ever get tired of whining about things that don't affect your well-being to you and your family? Getting 2 likes, which he ratioed. Steve responded saying, quote, just as soon as you realize what will happen and how it affects your family or life, you'll say, why didn't anyone warn us about this? And 4 likes. So he was ratioed, as youth might say. America Pop Bear says, quote, Islam is not compatible in America, period, getting 74 likes. Also, Zupa says, quote, send in the National Guard to confiscate the speakers and arrest the perpetrators, getting 27 likes. Thick Eggshell says, play the annoying music where they live and see if they'll reconsider. Getting 0 likes. really? I'll give them 1 like. I mean, that's a very juvenile response to play some music they would hate by them, which, yeah, play some Bach or Vivaldi. Go old school, real old school. Yeah, they like that. Or Beethoven. I mean, that'd be a comical prank. And unfortunately, most people can't even name those composers or works of art. But nevertheless, the conservative alternative says, quote, at some point soon, we will have to recognize Islam as a hostile foreign ideology that seeks to bring down the downfall of the West. We have to act accordingly. The clock is ticking, folks. And it has a picture of a lot of people in the, not the burqas, but the other thing. It says, your tolerance is my weapon, getting 27 likes. Isaac says, the left doesn't even know what they will be allowing Islam to spread like it is. Which, yeah, it's kind of hilariously ironic in terms of leftist women who, again, if you look at who's supporting mass migrations and who is very tolerant to those religions, spoiler alert, it's a lot of liberal white women, cats. And yeah, Islam's, and most of them are very promiscuous and dress, well, terribly. Yeah, they'll be covered up with a burqa pretty soon, which is ironic because, again, that's the antithesis of what most leftist women want. They want to wear as little clothes as possible, which, yeah. And that got 26 likes. Let's see here. American Futurist says, say no to brown immigration. And he has an infographic from End Wokeness who says lifetime contribution per immigrant. It says North America plus 573,000, Scandinavia 557,000, Oceania 476,000, Japan 525,000, UK 481,000 plus. And, oh, that's dollars, sorry. And then it says Somalia, negative $1.1 million, Caribbean, negative $675,000, Middle East, negative $624,000, Latin America, negative $271,000, Sub-Sahara Africa, negative $730,000. And it says Central North Africa, negative $700,000, which, yeah, that's almost $1 million, negative $1 million per person. Jeez Louise. Now again, trying to see here. Yeah, that is some pretty drastic numbers. Now, it says the source is IZA study from the Netherlands in 2024. Unfortunately, they didn't give us a sample size of that or additional details to quantify or qualify it. It did get 14 likes, though. Going down more and more. Mammer Time? I don't know if it's a parody of Hammer Time. It has a quote from Winston Churchill. It says, quote, when Muslims are in the minority, they are very concerned with minority rights. When they are in the majority, there are no minority rights, unquote. Winston Churchill getting 19 likes. Bulldog says, there's a picture of the plane right before it hits the Twin Towers. It says, this is Islam. You don't make peace with it. You don't appease it. You don't assimilate with it. You don't bargain with it. You don't compromise with it. You sure as hell don't tolerate it in your country. You destroy it and you run its followers out. Then they actually have an extra little blurb from the plane saying Al Akbar, getting 31 likes. The Deplorable Millennial says Muslims be like this. There's a crowd of people, and the person speaking at the podium says, who wants Sharia? Everyone raises their hand. And he says, who wants, the speaker says, who wants to live in Afghanistan? No one raises their hand. The speaker goes, who wants to live in Europe? Getting 9 likes, which, I mean, Europe used to be a good place. Well, not compared to America, obviously. There's no rights there. Can't even shoot a gun in most places. But yeah, the UK and Europe used to be relatively safe places to live and prosperous areas. Used to. Not so much these days. There's a lot of people being abused in the worst possible ways, as well as being robbed over there. So I would recommend living there anytime soon. Let's see. Robert Warham says, when sleeping at 5:30 a.m., all you want to do. And there's someone says, my religion says I can do it. Someone says, okay. And someone says, my religion says you can't do that. And he says, F off. Zero likes, but interesting meme. A lot of people, well, what's this? I Love American News says Michigan needs real elections. It says the world saw. It's a bunch of ballots that were delivered at well, I can't. It's a little blurred. The time's like 6:31 a.m. It says the world knows. 11 likes, which, I mean, they're probably up already because they heard the Muslim call to prayer. We also have Ashush Sharma, or Swarma? No, Sharma. I think I got his name right. And he has this quote, the Taik. It says, a religious concept that allows Muslims to lie, deceive, or hide their beliefs if it helps spread Islam or protect its agenda. Don't be fooled by the mass. Sometimes tolerance is just a strategy. Getting 12 likes, which that quote's been going viral, I would say, for a couple months now. Seeking Truth says, quote, is Keir Starmer running for Dearborn City Council? It sounds like the UK where politicians run cover for Islamic migrants. getting 11 likes. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it is interesting. Again, the church bells versus Muslim call to prayer is one of the most viral stories past couple of weeks, especially. And again, it's been 2 years and the city's done nothing. So, again, I can't but think more often than not, most of these things are eventually solved in the legal courtroom. I actually think that, as crazy as it sounds, that idea of playing Christian hymns or the rosary on the loudspeakers, then they shut that down. Having that lawsuit would actually get something done. I think that will be what happens at the end of the day, because Lord knows I don't think the city council is going to do anything on their own. I can't imagine getting up or I'm already up, but hearing that at 5:30 a.m. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so you click that button. I really appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how to make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your ME, anyone, everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.